Thanks for joining us today. My name is Scott. I'm the writer, producer, and director of Skin on Skin, the rise and fall of the world's largest furrier.
Oh, now I get it. And it's like the thing about your movie, your history with this, Scott, is very layered.
But having voiced and narrated this whole thing, man, there's so much I didn't know. It's really a fascinating story, man.
And I mean, I know, knowing you, this was not an easy story to tell.
Freddie went and ended up controlling the company, the fur end of the company.
Companies would come in and interview, and I saw Evans Fur Company was in Chicago. I thought, well, and I'd had some retail experience and so forth. I had business background.
And how do you feel about going out to Los Angeles? And for me, guys, I was in seventh heaven.
Also, I'm trying to convey the different emotions of the different characters. So I would watch a clip and just get into, oh, that's how, oh, okay, she felt like that.
So I would say, okay, hey, we're going to go back to the hotel. We're having a little party in the bar.
Whoa, look how far we have come.
I had been in Woodfield as a vault boy.
My father never told me, he just told me I was always stupid.
I originally started in LA.
It was 10 years that I spent there.
The thing is, this is not super complex.
You guys got to stop advertising 40 to 90% off.
I have to tell you, you got to create allies. And I think we never figured out how to create allies in our industry.
Memorandum, January 30, 1970. The body is an old 1902 model. Sometimes the motor sputters with pain.
Being a leader, being the CEO, it's not an easy lifestyle.
The grunt work, guys, is the final mile, though.
I worked with Denny Lane, worked with Paul McCartney in Wings, very popular band.
I could tell you my interrogation with Frank Ricky.
Has been detrimental to the fashion industry, not just the fur business, but the fashion industry as a whole.
When you're doing a hotel sale, you got you got to take a lot of goods to fill up the room.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between buying and merchandising.
And even Yves Saint Laurent was all shearling for a couple of years. Now they're showing mink again. So there must be something going on.
The only thing that I could offer Gibson was to send it off to Chicago and let them make the decision.
You know, the real fur looks so much different on film than the fake shit, but you're starting to see them go back to it.
Refused to say he was a feathered pillow. Yes, that is a common.
Goes back to how focused he was. He knew what he wanted, and he usually got it.
I need this. I need this. I got an ad coming up. What do you think? I'm a magician?
And I want you to take a lie detector. I go, I'll meet with you at the mall where all the people are.
You know, that was my first shot at running a business. It was great. I made, like everyone else, you make mistakes. You see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I send you this note, which I believe is timely, the result of 53 years of experience in the retail business.
People were diversifying like crazy. Jeff was begging David to diversify. He used to always come to him with business ideas.
We should diversify into completely different industries.
He said, well, will you stay on as a consultant? And my dad said, sure, I'd consider that.
At the same, the Melchers really didn't run it anymore. They really didn't know the fur business.
We're covering a lot of sentimentality in years, because this movie, I'll say the hardest thing about this movie, which I dig, is the depth.
Truly, I've been through hell for the last 5 years. My heart broken when I had to give up my lovely home in New Rochelle.
We used to laugh at remodels back in the 80s. We didn't have time for remodels. Now that's what we do. What I have done is I've got the trappers involved, and they're very helpful because you need an army of people.
I had to set up a meeting with the lenders, and it brought Bill Koziel, David, Ernie Wish, and myself. And I put on an act.
That was a destiny they created.
And then the vendor would say, could I see you and David and Robert in the back, please?
I would say, God, this coffee tastes different. And Peter would say it was cinnamon. It was some sort of drug.
It was a very short time he worked for them because they could never find him.
Le Grand Hotel, 45 La Croisette, Cannes, France.
We're here to build a business with you and to make you money.
Today, friends, we're doing another one of our deeper dives.
My father was, he could be a total asshole to people.
Oh, we gotta find this. You guys gotta do it right now. I forgot about this. And he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Go in for higher price lines, attract new and better customers, and be unafraid.
I spent 43 years in the industry because I made a lot of friends.
I didn't know that, right? 22, 23 years old. I'm like, no, I'm not taking it back.
These stories today certainly are influenced and totally affected by the Evans Fur Company.
I was after inventory, and there's like $250,000 worth of merchandise missing.
I'm actually weaving a tapestry, kind of like orchestrally, in with my guitars. They're all building and changing.
So he was an assistant, and he put the keys on the table, and he walked out and said, "I'm out of here. I'm not coming back."
Skill set is really going down. Like let out garments are almost impossible to make in Greece.
I was giving them an opportunity to buy from me.
Skin on Skin, The Rise and Fall of the World's Largest Furrier, Part 3. Final episode of the Skin on Skin companion podcast series.
I'm sure it's not necessary for me to tell you that going public imposes a new obligation on all of us, and especially on you as a lease department manager.
We're not really in the used coat business 10 years ago or 50 years ago, but today it's predominant that we have a lot of used coats.
In Cleveland, I used to say, "This stuff smells. Why does it smell so bad?"
You explained your dream, and then it was the salesman's job to go and find it in that vault.
And even the very first time I stepped on the floor as a trainee in Chicago, you knew more than the customer 99% of the time.
In New York, the manufacturing level of talent was amazing, of guys running great businesses.
I was 19 years old, and I think I was more responsible, toward the Evans Fur Company. I had more consideration than he did.
Well, because your reputation's on the line every time you do something.
Paul Becker was in the audience, and before you know, my father and Paul were having a good conversation. Got pretty loud back and forth.
I cut it up into choir, and you put it in Melodyne and made the different harmonies and stuff. I did that.
What new restaurant was in town? And as long as they were there, well, look at this. I have something to show you.
sitting on the toilet and it's 7:30 and he's calling me going, "Where are you? Why are you not here?"
Huge things and changes are afoot, as we shall tell you. But you know what?